Hello and welcome. All of us have seen a lot of videos and read a lot of books explaining the theory behind the Replatform cloud migration strategy. If you want a detailed and practical explanation of this strategy, you can find a link to this video here. And the link on this video also present in the description below. But in today's video, I want to go beyond the theory. I will show you real examples of companies that implemented the replatform strategy, where the strategy worked well, where it didn't work, and the most important, why. Together we will look at real success and fail stories, so you can better understand not just theory, but how the strategy actually play out in real cloud migration projects. Practice often teaches much more than theory, and these examples will help you see what to do and what to avoid. Before we proceed, if you find this content helpful, please like and subscribe. Your support helps grow our community and signals to YouTube that this channel provides valuable information. I very appreciate your help in sharing knowledge. A great example comes from Airbnb, which replatformed their systems onto Amazon Web Services (AWS). Instead of managing everything on their own, they started using services like Amazon RDS for their database. This allowed their teams to offload day-to-day operations like backups, scaling, and patching, so they could focus more on delivering new features. As a result, Airbnb improved the performance of their systems and gave users a better experience without doing a full rebuild of their architecture. Expedia, another great example, took a similar approach. They moved from on-premises Oracle databases to Amazon Aurora, a managed relation database built for the cloud. This step gave them higher availability, better read-write performance, and built-in scaling. Given how critical real-time availability is for a global travel company, this change helped Expedia support millions of users more reliably, especially during peak seasons. Spotify also used replatforming when they migrated to Google Cloud Platform (GCP). Instead of keeping their services on virtual machines, they moved their workloads to Google Kubernetes Engine (GKE). This shift helped them manage containerized services at scale, improve service availability, and, of course, optimize resource usage. The migration allowed Spotify to grow its streaming services globally while controlling infrastructure complexity, all without complexity rebuilding its backend. Another good example is the weather company. Now it's a part of IBM. They process a huge amount of data in real time to deliver weather forecasts to businesses and consumers. They replatformed to IBM Cloud, adopting cloud-native services for ingestion and processing. This allowed them to scale up fast during major weather events without delays or outages. It also helps them deliver more accurate data to users. CapitalOne also deserves a mention. They replatformed core banking services to AWS using tools like Amazon S3 for storage and AWS Lambda for serverless computing. These services help them remove unnecessary infrastructure management and instead focus on building customer-facing features. It also allowed them to improve security, compliance, and speed, which are all critical in the banking sector. But replatforming doesn't always go as expected. There are examples where the strategy was chosen too quickly or applied to the wrong workloads. In one case, although the company didn't share its name publicly, of course, a major SaaS provider tried to replatform their core services to AWS without fully understanding how their dependencies would behave. They replaced their database with a managed cloud version, but didn't test it under real load. Once in production, they faced latency spikes and unexpected failovers. This faced user-facing slowdowns and increased support costs. They had to roll back and rework several parts of the platform before trying again. Another example comes from a mid-sized FinTech company that tried to replatform a legacy billing application. The migration team assumed they could keep the same monolithic structure and just run it on container servers. But the application didn't scale properly and cloud costs rose fast. After a few months, they were forced to move some workloads back on premises and start a partial refactoring process. The mistake here wasn't the strategy. It was applying replatforming where refactoring was clearly required. These stories show us both sides of the replatform strategy. When it's used in the right context with modern or adaptable workloads, it can give real results quickly. Faster performance, reduced costs, and simplified maintenance. But when applied to systems that were never built to run in dynamic distributed cloud environments, the result can be disappointing and expensive. So, what is the takeaway from all the stories? Replatforming is a strong middle ground strategy. You get to modernize your infrastructure and benefits from managed services without the long delays or high complexity of full rewrites. But success comes from preparation. You need to understand how your application works under load, how it interacts with dependencies, and what will actually improve by switching to cloud native tools. Just swapping services doesn't guarantee success. It has to be part of a plan. The companies that succeeded, like Airbnb, Spotify, Expedia, the weather company, CapitalOne, all had something in common. They planned carefully, knew where to apply replatforming, and picked workloads that could benefit right away. And the companies that struggled didn't necessarily choose the wrong strategy. They just didn't check how well their workloads were suited for that level of change. That's why evaluation your system before you start is the most important part of any migration. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.